Hello everyone and welcome to this new video. Today I decided to share with you 7 tips that are related to stock photography, stock or slash commercial photography. I think that stock is an opportunity. There is some cash to be made. I'm doing stock for a few years now. I can't say that I'm doing a living only by shooting stock, but I'm pretty sure that if that would be my only income source, then concentrating full day on that could earn you some really good money. So here are my 7 tips. The first 3 of them are about stock photography in general, and the other 4 are strictly related to landscape slash travel photography. So tip number 1, it's related to the most important websites in stock photography. I know that there are a lot of stock websites. There are a few of them that work for everybody. For example, for me, Shutterstock, it's number 1. It went very well a few years ago, but for about 2 years, I think it dropped very much, but still it's my number 1 in sales. Then comes Fotolia, that after was bought by Adobe, started to work really well. And number 3 is Dreamstime. Dreamstime doesn't produce that much money, but I think it's okay. It's a decent website. Now there are other websites that I heard they work really well for other photographers, but they didn't for me. For example, Alamy, it's one of them. I didn't made any sales on Alamy, so I think it's a matter of picking the right websites for your subject, for the subject you're photographing. But those 3 websites I think work for everybody. Tip number 2 is about consistency. Stock photography, it's not about uploading 10 really great photos per week, for example. It's about uploading as many photos as possible at a decent quality. So yes, it's a game of quantity, but not really poor quality. You need to have a certain kind of quality. But if you're the type of photographer that wants to work really hard on your image to make it as good as possible, then stock photography, it's not for you. Stock, it's for uploading as many photos as possible at a decent quality. And why is this? Because it's very unlikely that you're going to sell your photos the day they've been approved on the website. And you also have to consider that together with your 10 photos per week, there are other thousands, tens of thousands that are being uploaded to the same website. So in order for you to be found on the website, you need a consistent way to upload. You upload not necessarily every day, although if you're going to do it every day, then you increase your chances of selling very much. But at least 3 times per week, I think it's a minimum requirement, because agencies and people that are constantly buying on stock websites are always looking for new and fresh content, and in order for them to see you, you need to be up there all the time. And from this comes tip number 3, that is related to the theme, to the subject that you are picking to photograph. So in the beginning, you may be tempted to photograph everything that comes to you, a little bit of landscape, a little bit of food, a little bit of portrait, a little bit of business concepts, and so on. You need to find 2 or maybe 3 main subjects that you are being able to photograph, and produce that type of work on a consistent base, because this is the only way that you will be noticed. It doesn't matter if you, for example, if you upload daily 10 photos per day, but it's all over the place. These websites have so many categories and such a big variation, and your photos are all over the place. It's unlikely that someone will stumble upon your photo. Yes, you may get lucky, but in order to increase your chances in a sea of photos, literally thousands and tens of thousands of photos, then you need to pick 1, 2, or maybe 3 categories and go for it consistently. Now comes the 4 tips that are related to landscape and travel photography. Tip number 4, or tip number 1 for landscape photography, but in general, tip number 4. If you are a person that travels a lot, then yes, you can incorporate photos of famous places or photos from different places in your photography. But don't think that you can do this only for stock. For example, thinking like, I'm going to travel to the X location because X location is really famous, and I'm going to photograph and put the photos on stock and sell them, and so this will pay for my trip. It will not. At least not in the short term. Stock photos are sold over a long period of time. For example, I have photos that I've uploaded 1 year ago and they are just starting to sell, especially when we are talking about landscape photography. For example, photos that are used for autumn are bought during summer, or photos that are used for winter are bought in autumn, and so on. So when you are photographing autumn, the persons that, or the agencies that already bought photos that are related to autumn in landscape don't need those photos anymore. Tip number 5, having people in landscape photos help you sell the photos better. You don't need supermodels, don't need extremely beautiful persons. The trend right now is to have normal people doing the normal things in the landscape, taking a selfie, exploring it, having a rain jacket covering from the rain, admiring the landscape together with your girlfriend or boyfriend or your kids or the entire family, watching the sunsets. Just the usual things that you are doing when you are in a vacation. Tip number 6 is to follow the visual trends. Usually these websites, Shutterstock for example, posts very frequently articles that are related to trends, but you can also look at the photos that are being uploaded. And from time to time, there is a different kind of trend. For example, right now, the trend is to have the photos a little bit desaturated with that orange and teal look, or teal and orange, or having blue in the shadows. So it's much more of a Instagram-ish look, if you want. And from this comes tip number 7. So either you go for tip number 6, go with the visual trend, or you go for tip number 7. You are completely original, you are ahead of time, you are out of any trend, and you are creating your own art. And by that I mean you are trying to edit your photos in such a different way than it's gonna get your photos immediately noticed on the website. So there you have it, the 7 tips that I think that are important for you as a stock photographer. I know that these are general tips, but I really know that if you apply these, you will sell for sure. I mean, this is the way I'm doing it right now. Again, I'm not doing big sales. I'm not living my life doing stock photography. So thanks for watching. Hope you'll subscribe to this YouTube channel. And until next time, keep on photographing. It's the only way that you can get better. Bye-bye.